Welcome to the Mortgage Wise radio show and video podcast, where we educate and provide expert advice on personal finance, mortgages, and real estate investing.
Show me the money.
As a result of what we do, our team has helped hundreds of first-time buyers, experienced buyers, and real estate investors achieve their goals of home ownership.
I wonder if there's a connection there.
Here are your executive producers and mortgage advisors, Randy and Veronica Chambliss.
What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Mortgage Wise radio show with Randy and Veronica Chambliss. I'm super excited to be here. I'm Randy Chambliss, the Executive Director of Louisiana Housing Authority and also branch manager with Geneva Financial. And I have to my right.
I'm Veronica Chambliss. I'm also a branch manager with Geneva Financial and a housing director of Louisiana Housing Authority. And guys, today we have a very special guest. It is so unusual to have a direct connect with the CEO of your company, right? Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
That's
that
right.
Doesn't happen too often.
That's right. So today we have Mr. VanTrojen. He is the founder and CEO of Geneva Financial, LLC. He founded the company in 2007, navigated the company through the housing crisis, and has had exceptional growth over the years. Geneva Financial is a mortgage bank, which is a direct mortgage lender with in-house operations headquartered in Chandler, Arizona. Did I say that right? With more than 100 branch locations nationwide. Mr. VanTrojen is on record saying, our mission at Geneva Financial is to approach every aspect of the business from the inside out with a culture-forward mindset. We focus on our loan originators and support staff first in order to endure an unbeatable experience for our customers. Although the company has evolved over the years, the founding principle has remained the same. Take care of humans first, and success will follow, right?
There it is. So having said that, welcome to the Mortgage Wise radio show, Mr. VanTrojen.
How you doing today?
Doing very well. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Awesome. Well, listen, we are humbled, we're honored to be able to talk with you today and just learn a little bit about yourself and Geneva Financial. So we're super excited. Our audience is going to be excited. So again, thank you for coming on and taking some time out your busy schedule, because you could have been doing anything else right now.
That's right.
So listen, we want to respect your time. So we're going to just dive into a few questions. Is that okay? Is that fair?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So the first question is, Mr. VanTrojen, how long have you been a licensed mortgage loan originator, and why did you decide to get involved in the mortgage profession?
So I'm gonna age myself right now, because May is gonna be my 20-year anniversary of being in the mortgage industry.
Awesome.
And boy, does it go by fast.
Right.
But I think, quite like a lot of people that are in this business, I got into it by accident. It wasn't my childhood dream. I never dreamed of as a child to be an originator. I didn't know what an originator was until much later in my adulthood. But I got very proficient at sales in a completely different industry, and thought my career was headed that direction. And it took a turn of events, and I landed in the mortgage industry. I learned to be extremely good at, marketing myself more than anything, and then became a very proficient salesperson. And so getting in the mortgage business, while I didn't know anything about mortgages, I excelled very, very quickly. I was, unlike a lot of people, I was able to generate a lot of business, although for the beginning part of my career, I didn't know what to do with the business once I had it.
Nice.
So I didn't know the people aspect of the mortgage industry. But I think that first and foremost, if you're capable of learn how to generate, customers, prospective customers, the rest will take care of itself.
Right.
Absolutely.
That makes perfect sense, because that's the number one key is numbers. Having enough numbers, enough people to talk to, enough prospects to talk to be able to close. And so having said that, who is Geneva Financial? And why did you just decide to create the company? What need that you've seen in the industry that led you to create Geneva Financial?
So when I got in the business in 2001, I went to work for a very, very small company. In fact, I think I was like the 6th employee of that company in 2001. And I got proficient, I grew and ended up running multiple branches. And the company that I worked for, that company grew substantially. And in 2006, that company sold with about 1,500 employees to a very large mortgage banker. And I realized in a very short period of time that I was not wired for a big bureaucratic corporate mortgage banking operation.
Right.
It just wasn't going to work. And the industry was starting to change. The housing collapse was, right on our doorstep. And the mortgage industry was largely moving to large banking platforms. And the banking platforms were, in my opinion, taking advantage of the employees by reducing pay, even though a lot of the profitability was going up. And I've always said that, the minute people start to forego their pay, they never get it back, even when times improve. So, I couldn't find another company that I was willing to work for after my former employer sold his company. So I was kind of forced to start my own. And when I started Geneva Financial, it was really a selfish thing because it was for me. I was just trying to find out how to take care of myself, my employees, my branch, the best I possibly could. And I found a way to do it, giving them very competitive compensation. In fact, it's been the highest compensation the industry's given nearly 14 years now. And still being competitive with rates and offering great service. I had no aspirations of growing to the size that we've grown to.
Wow.
That wasn't the game plan. I mean, it was literally, how do I take care of me and my handful of loan officers that I managed as a branch manager at the time.
Right.
And then just kind of organically, people liked what I was doing, paying more than anybody and offering the things that we did and having an open door policy and basically our like I've always stated, I mean, I didn't coin the phrase, but that the originator is my customer.
Right.
So everything that I've always tried to do, which I was actually taught this by my previous employer in a different profession altogether, was take care of your employees and everything will work out very well for yourself.
Absolutely. And see, and that's one of the things that made me connect with you, because before we decided to join, I saw a video you did on your YouTube channel. And when you say, you created Geneva Financial because you wanted to get away from the bureaucratic system, that made sense. It immediately clicked with me. I was like, whoa, it's like a load of bricks fell off my shoulder.
Right.
So,
because she come from that corporate world.
Yeah, I come from that. It's a part of my background. So I know how it is when people.
I've never been a part of the corporate world. I never had that opportunity. I've always worked for smaller, kind of family-owned, operated, and other than my brief experience working for a large mortgage banker after my former employer sold, is the first time that I actually got to experience that environment. And I don't know, maybe it's just me being a high-producing originator back in the day. I don't have a lot of patience, right?
Right.
Things done right now, and I say this kind of tongue in cheek, but my deals, of course, are the most important deals ever, like most originators think.
Right.
And when you have all this bureaucracy to get anything done, I lose my mind.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely, I can agree. It seems like I'm not talking down on it, but it seems like an environment where people lack common sense. So.
Yeah, I mean, and by Geneva not having that middle management in place, it's huge, because you don't have the regional sales director, the national sales director, and the global sales director, and all these people taking chunks of cash, but not truly really helping that loan originator at the end. So we totally understand where you're coming from, certainly.
Yeah. So with that being said, Aaron, how many branches have you created and how many states does Geneva Financial currently operate in?
I mean, I think we're 130 plus branches. We're in 44 states right now with 2 states pending.
Nice.
So we're in most states. I don't think we'll ever be in all states. There's some states that are extremely challenging to do business in, but we're in most states.
Okay.
Awesome.
Gotcha.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That leads us to the next question. Can you share, in your humble expert opinion, right? You be around other CEOs of mortgage companies. You're in their arena of success on a high level. So the question is, in your humble opinion, where do you see us today in the market? And where do you think that we might end up in 2021 in this market?
Well, I mean, I've been preaching this for quite some time. I thought that the market would change substantially. I actually thought it was going to happen sooner than it happened. I know that this recent spike in interest rates has surprised most of the market. They didn't anticipate it was going to happen until much later. I thought it was going to be much sooner. So maybe we're both right. We fell in the middle. I anticipated that, you know, once the election was passed and the vaccine rolled out, that it was inevitable that the economy was going to improve because jobs would come back and the economy would come back stronger. We would emerge from the recession stronger. And you have a stronger economy, that's going to lead to higher interest rates, which has an adverse effect on the mortgage industry. You can't have it both ways, right? You can't be rooting for a really strong U.S. economy and want really low interest rates.
Right. It's not going to balance out too well. And that's history that proves that.
You'll hear a lot of people in our industry ask for those things, which is an impossibility. Anyway, so it got delayed because I actually thought interest rates, we see a strong increase in interest rates around November, December. That took a little while. And I think it took a little while because we had a contested election. And then we had, even though we had the vaccines rolling out, the COVID numbers were spiking to all-time highs, right? So that slowed the recovery. Well, now, you know, a few months later, we're coming out of the first quarter of 2021, which is amazing. And the economy is extremely strong. Interest rates are up substantially. I believe refinance applications are already down 60% year over year. But again, that's a number that even Fannie and Freddie anticipated was going to happen, but they didn't think it was going to happen until much later in the year. And it just spurred. So the refinance business, I think, is mostly over. Now, I know there's always going to be people that need equity refinance for whatever reason. So there's still going to be refinance transactions. Interest rates are historically low, right? I mean, people are freaking out because selling rates in the 3s.
Right. Like, really?
It's the 3s. It's the 3s we're talking about. And even if it went into the 4s, we're still, that's historically low interest rates. The housing market's on fire. That's going to continue to be on fire and probably going to continue to be a problem for the foreseeable future because we have a lack of inventory. The cost of production is up substantially. So it costs a lot more, which is most problematic for entry-level home buyers because it's very hard to build a house that's inexpensive enough for a first-time home buyer to get into it. Right. So this really affects the younger generation because they're predominantly the first-time home buyers. The positive spin is I heard somewhere, and I don't know if this is mathematically perfectly accurate, but there's 7 buyers in every house listing. So the good news is that demand is high. The economy is high. There's a ton of people that can qualify for
Yes.
So the purchase market's going to be strong, but you're going to have to have some patience because you might have home buyers that you might have to offer, make an offer on a dozen homes before they actually get approved. They got approved,
accepted. Right.
And that's not going to right itself anytime soon. You know, it's not like the home builders can just create 1 million new houses. That's going to take a long time. So barring an unforeseen event like we had in 2020, I think the mortgage industry is going to be strong. It's going to be well off of 2020 numbers, probably considerably higher than 2019 numbers, which were good numbers.
Absolutely.
But we're going to suffer some margin compression, and you're going to see people having to work a lot harder to try to generate enough clientele for them to maintain, you know, even similar business that they had last year.
Got it.
Absolutely.
Overall, optimistic, and for us, Geneva Financial, I always say we do better as a company during harder times. Like in 2018, which was one of the hardest years in the mortgage industry since 2008, we had margin compressions. I think 56% of mortgage bankers posted a net loss for the year. It was our best year to date.
Nice.
Because not that it wasn't hard. It was hard, but we grew.
Right.
Because loan officers' pipelines were shrinking, branch managers' pipelines were shrinking, and they were looking at ways to increase their income. And by simply just moving to our compensation structure, and now with how our marketing works and the ability of our marketing to help you not only grow your business as an originator, but grow your branch as a branch manager, we increase market share. You know, transactions go down, just increase your footprint, increase market share. Hopefully you'll the outcome should be great.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, that's a great segue into the next question, because you know, what we wanted to ask you is like, you know, what are some of the benefits for loan officers and branch managers that's going to feel that pinch and that pain in the refinance, and they need to make that transition over to purchase mortgage? But what's the benefits of them coming to Geneva, being part of the family for long term?
It's gonna be different for everybody, you know. Like I said, I'll paint a rosy picture that we're the greatest thing ever, but we're not necessarily going to be right for everybody. I understand that, right?
Yes, sir.
We're not going to be a fit for everybody. We're really compliant. That scares people away, right? They don't like to hear that. But we're really compliant. No, but you know, we grew substantially as a company because we used to always put compensation first. I mean, if you look at our marketing for the last the vast majority of our time, we were putting out that we paid more than anybody else in the industry. That still holds true today. There's nobody that comes close. You know, I think that the loan officer comp is 105 basis points roughly. We pay over twice that to an originator, to most originators, not all, but most originators. And branch managers, our branch managers will make 2, 3, even 4 times more than a branch manager that works for another big box mortgage banker that runs on a P&L model. And I've never been proven wrong. So compensation, especially going into margin compression, could be the selling point, right? It could be the selling point. Sales that makes people make the move. But we've really changed our marketing angle, because while that still holds true, we've gotten exceptionally good in the customer service. Our marketing is probably one of the most robust in the industry, if not the best in the industry, where we can actually help branch managers and we can help loan officers grow their business at no cost to them. And it doesn't take a lot of effort. All of our marketing is designed to direct to consumer. Right. And I'm not talking about buying. I'm not talking about buying leads. I'm not talking about knocking on doors of real estate agents. I'm talking about going straight to the consumer before they actually get to a real estate agent.
Right.
That's right.
And our it's not magic. It's just better than other people's, and we know how to do things that get people to engage. Right. That's the whole thing, is to get your consumer to engage. And when I say consumer, I'm talking about prospective borrowers, and I'm talking about prospect loan officers and branch managers for those that are trying to grow their footprints. Right. You got to get them engaged, get them paying attention. And we've done an amazing job of doing that. 2 years ago, most people in the country didn't know who we are. Now, when I talk to people, they've at least heard about us. Some know all about us, but they've heard of us. And that's an amazing thing that we've been able to do in the last 2 years. And that's largely because of how our marketing department was able to take these things, these crazy things that go on in my head and actually materialize them.
Right.
And
it reproduces itself.
That's right. Yeah.
It reproduces itself in the physical.
Yeah. And for us.
Right.
Yeah.
We do have a tremendous amount of things to offer to the originators and branch managers. And like I always tell people, was like, my biggest objection for the last almost 14 years is people just don't believe, right?
Nope.
They see the numbers, they see the rates, they see what we do, and they're just like, it's too to be true. And I even have them call other originators and branch managers and say that can, say it's true, it's real,
right?
And they still do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. We got some of those phone calls.
Right.
Like I'm gonna change it all of a sudden. I've been doing the same thing for nearly 14 years. We haven't changed it once.
Right.
Not even when the market changed.
Right.
Remember?
Exactly. Yeah. And having said that, that was one of our thoughts too. Is this real? Because my story is that I was looking online for hard money lenders, right? Because we do some hard money, and I was just searching online. I found this website, and somehow I landed on Geneva website. So when I went to Geneva website, browsing around, the colors kind of caught my attention. The content caught my attention. Then I seen where it said career path. So I clicked on it and started reading down the opportunity, and I came across those BIPs for a branch manager. And I'm like, wait, hold on. They're paying a whole lot of money. And my first thought, this can't be real, right? So we continued doing some research.
Well, he called me and told me, well, I found this company, Geneva Financial. I said, oh, I never heard of them. He said, they paying 250 bips for a branch manager. I was like, what? I said, wait, I got my phone, the calculator. I'm calculating the loans I had in my pipeline. I'm like, you mean to tell me I'm losing out on this much money?
Yes, right. The math is everything. Let's do the math, right? So
people immediately think that it's going to be a direct reflection of price. And there's some truth to that, because compensation is tied to rate. Everything that we do in the mortgage industry is tied to the yields that are paid based on interest rates. The difference between us and the competition, and why our rates are still competitive, is because like you said earlier, I eliminated middle management. You're not reporting to 10 managers, right?
Right.
It's one phone number between you and me.
That's
It's just it's my number. You're not reporting to all these district managers and SVPs and MVPs and RSVPs and whatever other VPs there are. I don't have any of those.
Right.
And then you eliminate the greed factor. I didn't start this company to become a multi-millionaire. That's not why I did it. That's not what motivated me. Don't get me wrong. I like money. I like being successful, but that's not why I started this company. And if you eliminate the greed factor, branch managers be as greedy as they want. I don't need it, right? I already figured out my model. You do whatever you want to do. Get rid of all the fluff and all the middle management, bureaucratic things that you don't want, and eliminate the greed factor, and all of a sudden you can pay people what they're worth.
Right.
That's right. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's critical. And another reason why we joined too, because when we found that it was a plug and play system, like you mentioned with the marketing team, that's one of the best in the industry. When we had a conversation with you, you say, hey, you need to reach out to my marketing guy and tell him what your plans are. We've done that. And we had about an hour conversation. It was a great conversation. And he heard our goals, our wishes, and our desires that was burning in us. And he came up with a marketing strategy. And he told us, listen, you need to do A, B, C, and D. And for us, we're the type of couples that when we find a mentor, we find that coach, there's no deviating from it. Whatever they say, hey, if it's legal, it's ethical, we going forward because it's a proven track record. And so we can concur with the marketing team, and it's a plug and play system.
Mm-hmm. And also for me, what resonated with me when I heard you speak about the true definition of an originator. For an originator their job is what? To go out and get new business, not run after paperwork, updated bank statements, updated pay stubs. When I heard you say that, I was in.
Right.
The compensation for me was just surplus.
Right. And then also the fact that you have your wife, Miss Telly, involved, in the company. You guys work together all the time. And so by seeing a couple actually doing the things together, that resonated with us because obviously we've been working together for quite some time. And it
wasn't always easy.
No, of course not. It wasn't always easy. But just
have you ever
just
seen the two of us together?
Yeah, I know, right?
Exactly. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
I know.
But I just like right before the call, before we started recording the call, he was like, "Hey, I finally see you two working together, like in the same video at the same time." So yes, yep. We definitely appreciate you sharing. What's the benefits of working with Geneva, partnering with Geneva? Is there any other benefits? I didn't want to cut you off if you had something else that you wanted to share.
I mean, like I said, it's different for everybody, and people find different things about this company that are more beneficial than others, and it's going to differ from person to person. I think that the greatest benefit that a lot of people probably don't capitalize on as much as they should or could is that it gives them the opportunity to aspire and accomplish anything they want to financially. You have the ability, we had several people last year, in the 7 figures. And when I got in the mortgage industry, nobody said anything to me about, being able to make 7 figures as an originator. I wish they had. I would have probably strived for it much sooner.
Right.
But you have the autonomy and the ability and the platform and the tools to be as successful as you want. And I don't care if somebody wants to make $50,000 or $100,000 or $1 million a year, whatever it is that your goal is, your aspirations, your burning desire. I want to help you get there, and this company will give you everything that will enable you to do that, assuming that you really have that passion and are willing to work for it.
That's right. Absolutely. That's another segue, good segue for our next section is fun facts, right? This is fun facts about Mr. VanTrojen. And so the first question in regards to that fun fact is, you couldn't accomplish what you accomplished so far, but not having the proper mindset. So can you share with us, or the listening audience, why was personal development so critical for your success, and why having a proper mindset helped you to get to the place where you are right now? Because obviously the burning desire never stops. You always have a new desire, but obviously you accomplished a lot of your burning desires already. So just share a little bit about your personal development journey and why having a proper mindset is critical to achieving your goals, wishes, and desires.
Yeah, I'll try to make that quick because that could be a book. So
right,
I think first and foremost, my parents had a lot to do with not teaching me anything about success. They didn't teach me about financial success. Let me reframe and say financial success. My parents didn't teach me about financial success. My dad was a firefighter. My mom worked for Nordstrom's, and I grew up very middle class. But they really instilled on me being that good person, right? So right. I think that's where, and that had a lot to do with my success, learning to just take care of people and being a good person in general. I don't necessarily believe in karma, but I think at the end of the day, it's going to bode well for you if you live your life that way. It wasn't until I got out of college and in my previous employment, which was in the fitness industry, and that was like being in the military for 8 years. Okay, the culture, we worked 80-hour weeks. We were constantly yelled at. We lived in fear to produce. Wow. And I have to tell you, while it was very challenging, it taught me how to work hard and how to have taught me how to outwork people. Right. I guess maybe if anything else is that I learned very early on that if I wasn't the smartest and if I wasn't the most charming and if I wasn't the the best salesperson that as long as I could outwork you, I was going to win. And I played it over and over and over and over again. And then, of course, I fine-tuned my skills over time, but I never stopped working hard. So that work ethic was hugely important to me. And I think that's what most people lack. I think what makes somebody, other than there's some brilliant people out there that, invent rockets, I was never going to do that. The ability to, I'm just going to work you until I beat you, right? Absolutely. So that was really important, and that's why I had the wherewithal to get through the financial crisis. I mean, we started this company in October of 2007 when the housing market was on fire. The mortgage industry was, a complete disaster, and hundreds of big mortgage companies that were well capitalized were going down. We were just getting our foothold. Right. Why did that happen? Was it because I was so much smarter than them? I don't think so. I just think that I really had a drop, that I was not going to, I wasn't going to fail, and I do everything I could, legally and ethically to survive and be successful. That we powered through it. And I think that I had to be taught that. I was taught that. Right. I don't think that it came naturally. I was taught that. And if you haven't been taught that, you probably don't have it. Because there's people that are our employees that I know are smarter than I am. What prevented them from, and I think in many cases it's just the drive. Right. It's just the drive. I've got this burning desire and this drive to do as much as I can in my life. And it's what keeps me going.
Awesome. We appreciate that. And the next one,
so the next fun fact is, yes, what do you enjoy doing for fun when you're not serving as the CEO of Geneva Financial?
I love working out. I know that sounds lame, but I work out every single day of my life, and I absolutely love it. And I'd spend a lot more time in the gym if I wasn't working. I'm absolutely in love with it. It comes easy to me. I am sure there was once upon a time it didn't, but I absolutely enjoy being in the gym. Not by myself. I like to be in an atmosphere of people. I get energy from it. It wakes me up in the morning. And the other thing is aviation. I'm a pilot. I love to fly. And it's also a motivator. It used to be cars for most of my life from a little kid, and it turned into planes, which probably bodes for the employees because it keeps me motivated, right? Aviation's expensive, and so it makes me work even harder every single day to try to accomplish what I want to accomplish in aviation. I think that you don't have to be in love with the mortgage business to be good at it. I've never been in love with the mortgage. What I'm in love with the mortgage business gives you the ability to live your passions.
Right. Exactly.
Yes, passions just can be taking care of your kids. Your passions can be boating or houses or trips or horses or I don't know, whatever your passion is. The mortgage industry enables you the ability to be passionate about something that's not mortgage.
Right. That's right. Absolutely. We totally agree. Well, listen, we came to the, you want to say something?
No.
We came to the end. So thank you for your words of wisdom today. Thank you for coming on our platform and sharing with the Mortgage Wise Radio Show audience. And you enjoy the rest of your day on purpose, sir.
Thank you very much.
Talk to you soon. Aaron. Okay.
That brings today's show to a close.
Oh, come on!
Thank you for listening to the Mortgage Wise Radio Show and Video Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to share it with a friend and subscribe. Please follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook at the Mortgage Wise Radio Show. If you want to learn more about what we talked about today, give us a call at 504-270-2783. Or to view our podcast library, please visit our website, themortgagewiseradioshow.com.
Autobots, roll out.
Until next time, choose to have a great day on purchase, Mortgage Wise friends.
Go home.